In January 1953, a panel of 5 scientists convened in secret at CIA headquarters. Their assignment: determine what to do about flying saucers. Not whether they were real. What to do about the public believing they might be. The Robertson panel, named for Chairman Howard Percy Robertson, a Caltech physicist with deep intelligence ties, produced a 14-page report that would quietly become the most consequential document in UFO history. Its core recommendation was blunt. The government should undertake a policy of debunking, their word, to strip unidentified aerial phenomena of what they called their special status. The panel argued that public interest in UFOs could be exploited by adversaries to clog military communication channels and trigger mass hysteria. The solution wasn't investigation, it was perception management. The report's language is remarkably direct. It recommended that national security agencies take immediate steps to strip the unidentified flying objects of the special status they have been given and the aura of mystery they have unfortunately acquired. It proposed enlisting psychologists, advertising experts, and even Walt Disney in a public education campaign designed to reduce public interest. The panel explicitly stated that this debunking aim would result in reduction in public interest in flying saucers, and that the program should emphasize cases that were initially puzzling but later explained. Notably, the panel spent approximately 12 hours reviewing UFO cases spanning several years, roughly 12 hours to shape 7 decades of policy. What followed was systematic. Project Blue Book, the Air Force's official UFO investigation, increasingly operated under the panel's debunking mandate rather than genuine scientific inquiry. Former Blue Book director Edward Ruppelt later acknowledged that the project had shifted from investigation to public relations. The 1969 Condon Report provided the academic justification to shut Blue Book down entirely, despite the fact that roughly 30% of its own cases remained unexplained. For nearly 50 years after Blue Book's closure, the official U.S. government position was simple: there is nothing to investigate. That position held until 2017, when the New York Times revealed the existence of the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. The All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office was established in 2022 to be the government's definitive answer to UAP questions. But AARO's early trajectory under its first director, Sean Kirkpatrick, drew immediate criticism from whistleblowers and members of Congress. Kirkpatrick's February 2024 historical review concluded that there was no evidence of extraterrestrial technology or secret crash retrieval programs. Inspector General Thomas Monheim subsequently found that AARO had not been given full access to all relevant programs, raising the question of whether its conclusions were constrained by its inputs. The institution built to resolve the mystery appeared, to many observers, to be continuing the Robertson panel's original mission under a modern name. Then something changed. John Kosloski, who replaced Kirkpatrick as AARO director, brought a markedly different posture. On June 5, 2026, AARO released a case report on what has been informally termed the Mother Orb incident, a multi-sensor observation involving a large, luminous object reportedly deploying smaller objects. The report, signed by Kosloski, acknowledged that approximately 40% of the observed phenomena could not be explained by known natural or technological sources. The phrase used was striking: unrecognized technology. That language matters. It is not unidentified. It is not insufficient data. It is an affirmative acknowledgement that something technological was observed and could not be matched to any known system. The Robertson panel report resurfaced not through a FOIA request or a leak, but through the third tranche of AARO's own Pursue Transparency initiative, a publicly accessible archive of historical UAP-related government documents. The quiet inclusion of this document is itself significant. The same institutional lineage that executed the debunking mandate is now publishing the evidence of that mandate for public scrutiny. This is not simply transparency. It is an institution offering the public the tools to evaluate its own historical credibility, or lack thereof. The establishment of a new Science Advisory Council for UAP analysis represents what may be the most significant structural development since the Robertson panel itself. Operating under Executive Order 13526's classification framework, this council is designed with independence provisions that the Robertson panel conspicuously lacked. Where the 1953 panel was convened by the CIA, briefed by intelligence officers, and tasked with a predetermined objective, the new council's mandate emphasizes open scientific methodology and includes mechanisms for dissent and minority findings. Whether this structural difference translates into functional independence remains to be seen. History counsels skepticism, but the architecture is, on paper, fundamentally different. This brings us to the question that the Robertson panel's own authors would likely rather not have posterity ask. Was 70 years of debunking a legitimate national security decision, protecting communication channels and preventing panic, as the panel argued? Or was it a framework that, once established, made genuine investigation institutionally impossible, regardless of what the evidence showed? The 40% of unexplained phenomena in the Mother Orb case did not suddenly appear in 2026. Those kinds of observations have existed for decades, inside the very files that the debunking mandate was designed to make irrelevant. Something genuinely unprecedented is happening. The same institutional framework that was built on a foundation of deliberate debunking is now publishing its own unresolved case files and releasing the very documents that prove the debunking policy existed. Whether this represents a true structural break or merely a more sophisticated form of managed disclosure is a question that only time and continued transparency will answer. But the primary sources are now available. The Robertson panel's recommendations are no longer hidden in classified archives. AARO's acknowledgement of unrecognized technology is a matter of public record. The distance between those two documents, 73 years, measured in calendar time, may prove to be the most important gap in the history of American national security. The record is now public. The question is whether we're ready to read it honestly.